Stay Strong, Biography Project by Tara Garcia, Mrs. Moody, Period 3, May 2011. When you think of child abuse, what do you think of? If you asked Dave Pelzer, he would say it was his childhood. Dave was born on December 29, 1960 in Daly City, California. He was born into a sweet and loving family. That didn't last for long. At age 4, his mother started to abuse him. She thought it was all games, but Dave didn't. At age 12, Dave finally reported of the abusement and was put into foster care. Later on, he dropped out of high school and joined the Air Force. Then, in his early 30s, he married a girl but ended up divorcing her. Then he met this other girl and had a son named Steven. Dave Pelzer had a challenging childhood, rough family, but ended up making incredible accomplishments. Family. Dave was the son to Catherine Rivera Christian Pelzer and Stephen Joseph Pelzer on December 29, 1960, in Daly City, California. He was the second of 5 boys. Along with Dave was Kevin, Ronald, Stan, and Russell. At age 12, Dave was put into a foster care and had foster parents, Mrs. and Mr. Turnbull. Like any other family, his parents loved him, but things started to change. Life in childhood. Life is a challenge. Dave had a horrible and terrifying childhood. If you think your mom is rough, you haven't heard about Dave's mom. His mom went beyond rough. At first, his mom was like any other mother, loving, caring, anything else. But because of her drinking problems, she started abusing Dave. When Dave would do his chores, she would set a time he had to be done by. If he didn't complete them in time, she wouldn't feed him anything. Every night got worse. Along with being starved, Dave was being beaten, forced to drink ammonia, which is a dish soap. One time, his mom tried to burn him over a gas stove and ended up burning his arm. When she was drunk one time, she stabbed him in the stomach. Stephen, his dad, also tried to stop her, but it made the situation worse. Trying to escape was useless too, because every time Dave and his dad tried to escape, Dave would end up being punished. The only time Dave got to escape was when he went to school. Sometimes Dave would look through the trash at school to look for food to eat. Teachers saw all the bruises and marks on his body. They wanted to report it, but Dave stopped them since he thought he would be punished for telling somebody. Dave was frightened of his mom. He didn't even call her his mom. He referred her as the mother, and she referred him as it. Finally, at age 12, Dave allowed the nurse and principal to report the abusing and was able to move out of her house and into foster care. His foster parents were Mr. and Mrs. Turnbull. Dave stayed there in a while, till later when he dropped out of high school to join the Air Force. After all the camps, training, and being able to be in the Air Force, Dave married ex-wife Pasty, but then divorced her and married Marcia and had a kid named Steven. Life was definitely challenging and terrible for him, but Dave Pelzer, accomplishments. When you please others in hopes of being accepted, you lose your self-worth in the process. Dave has made some amazing accomplishments. He has accepted the 10 Outstanding Persons of the World Award in November 1994, spoke at the 65th Annual 10 Outstanding Young Americans Award September 2003, spoke and won at the Jefferson's Award ceremonies, and received the Dr. Richard Kimonia Doorway of Hope Award. Dave has also been able to be on a couple incredible talk shows like Oprah Winfrey, Larry King, The View, Montel Williams, which he's been on 5 times, Sally Jesse Raphael, and The Lisa Gibbons Show. Dave was lucky enough to go to the National Book Festival and able to win an award at the festival. He met President John F. Kennedy. The books he wrote about his life and childhood became instant bestsellers and books. Most of his books sold over 1 million copies and became one of the New York Times bestsellers. Besides winning awards and meeting famous people, Dave helps kids in foster care and who has been abused. He also donates to charity and other foundations to help kids who are less fortunate. Dave Pelzer has accomplished a lot, even though he's had a challenging life and childhood. The most interesting fact about Dave Pelzer is he came from such a horrible childhood and ended up such a wonderful man. At some points he might have wanted to give up, but he didn't. He stayed strong through thick and thin, and now look how far he has came. Even at rough times, Dave stayed strong. When you think of a child abuse, remember all the things Dave Pelzer went through, all the horrible things a poor child had to live with. But always remember to stay strong, like Dave Pelzer did.